Hello YouTube, Wes here checking in with a brand new video for you. And yes, as the title suggests, these are my vinyl finds for the month of January 2020, the first video of 2020, the first vinyl finds video of 2020. So yeah, these are my vinyl finds from January. Got a pretty good stack of stuff here actually. So yeah, did pretty well in January. Got quite a bit of thrift store finds in January. Stuff started trickling in here and there, so that was pretty good. Had a couple trips to a couple different stores and some online buys. So yeah, some really good stuff. Just wanted to mention I did spend just this past weekend on Saturday, went down to Tampa for the Florida Audio Expo, sort of an audiophile show that just started last year. So this is the second year of it happening. Really awesome that we have a show like this here in Florida now. It's still a small show, but there was a lot of really cool stuff I saw there. I met up with Brad over at H2 Vinyl, and we hung out together, did all the show stuff together, and then had some lunch and went to do some record digging at what is my favorite record store in the Tampa St. Pete area, and that is Retro Records. So I had some really good finds there, so those will be shown in my February Vinyl Finds inbox, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, really fun weekend, a fun day. Listening to a 45 RPM lacquer cut of A Night in Tunisia with Michael Fremer on $1 million plus stereo system. That was quite an experience. Got to hear a lot of different types of equipment, the kind you see only in the magazines usually. So it was really cool to be in one place and be able to experience all these different types of equipment and hear them, and I heard just some really awesome stuff. I did do a little bit of video while I was there. I probably am going to put that sort of in its own video to talk about the hi-fi show, just to make its own sort of short video. That might be a Saturday kind of thing that I'll post one of these Saturdays coming up. So stay tuned for that as well if you're curious about the hi-fi show stuff. But yeah, it was just a really fun experience. It was fun meeting up with Brad again, and looking forward to maybe meeting up again in about a month from now. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into these. Well, before I ramble on anymore, let's go ahead and get into these vinyl finds for January, because as I said, I had quite a bit. So these first couple ones here are from Sound Exchange in Tampa. We went down to Tampa at the beginning of January actually for a Jurassic Park World Tour event. Pretty cool event, something that I got for my husband for Christmas. He's really into Jurassic Park and all that kind of stuff. So that was a really fun day. Went down there and stopped off at Sound Exchange in Tampa on the way down because it's pretty close off the 275 there. So very easy to get to, and could stop in and pick up a few things while we were down there. So this first one we got here, a couple things from their bargain bin. This is a tribute to Woody Guthrie Volume 2. So this is a compilation of some tribute concerts they did for Woody Guthrie in the 72. So you got like Judy Collins, Tom Paxton, Richie Havens, Joan Baez, Peter Fonda, Arlo Guthrie, Jack Elliott, Odetta is on here. Yeah, some really cool folk artists on here, and a really cool piece. So it's cool to find that in the bargain bin there at Sound Exchange. So pick that one up. This next one, I've always seen the cover of this and thought it was pretty interesting, and always wanted to have a copy because I do just like to collect interesting covers, and that is Computer Games Mesex, or Mesex with Computer Games, and yeah, it's just a weird cover, and I like it, so definitely wanted to have this. Pretty good group, so late 70s kind of pop rock kind of stuff. A little bit getting into like a new wave-ish sound, but yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, I wanted to have this for the cover. So in the bargain bin, I found that. And this next one I also bought for the cover. This cover is just too weird not to buy. This is Kalapana with Alive, and that's a pretty crazy cover. Kalapana again is sort of an 80s, or is this 80s? This is late 70s, 1981. So kind of in that same vein. It's kind of a pop rock kind of late 70s, early 80s sound. It's got a little bit of a disco vibe, a little bit of a new wave vibe, a little bit of a synth 80s rock kind of vibe. I mean, not great musically, but an interesting cover and an interesting listen. So definitely cool to pick that up. This next thing, add to my Thompson Twins collection. I'll go ahead and pull this out of their little. The nice thing about Sound Exchange is they have these little labels that they put on their records, and they give grading and notes on what it is inside there. The only bad thing is that the records are sealed up in these, and you can't take them out and look at them until you get up to the counter if you want to. So if you want to look at something, you have to bring it up to the counter. But what was in here is the Thompson Twins, a product of. This is a German pressing of it. I do already have a US pressing of it, but yeah, anytime I see a German pressing of an album or a group I like, I'm going to grab it. So yeah, picked that one up while I was there. So that was nice. And then the last thing I picked up at Sound Exchange is something that's been on my Discogs wish list for years now. I don't even remember who in the VC recommended this. It's been a long time. But this is the group A Certain Ratio with their album Force from 86 was when this was originally done. So it's kind of a later 80s new wave kind of sound, getting into almost that. It sort of went very jazzy in the late 80s, so this gets a little bit sort of jazzy at times, but it's also synthy and new wave-ish. Yeah, really cool group on Mute. They were originally released on Mute, and this is a reissue from 2017. I think the originals of this are pretty hard to find, so that was this nice that this was reissued on Mute. And this is also a colored pressing, which is pretty cool. Inner sleeve has a map on it, and then some liner notes, and this comes on a really cool piece of bright yellow vinyl. This is like school bus yellow vinyl. Yeah, really nice, really cool to find this in the wild. As I said, I had this on my wish list forever, just never really got around to pulling the trigger and ordering it online and spending the extra money you have to spend to get something online generally. So yeah, it was really cool to find this in the wild, and I'm glad I found it. So that was the Sound Exchange haul from January. This next thing is a recommendation from Paul Baraka P Dub, and this is the group he did a feature video on this group, and they're Balmorhea. Not sure how to exactly pronounce their name, but this is their latest album, Clear Language, and Balmorhea are kind of an ambient rock group, very cinematic sort of sounding rock, instrumental rock kind of stuff. Really cool sounding. They're out of Austin, Texas. So it's pretty cool. So I did pick that up from the band on his recommendation. Use the link in his video there to check that out, or order it, I should say, not check it out. They did include a download card, which was nice, as well as a poster for one of their previous releases. So yeah, they include that as well. So it's always nice when you order something from the band and they throw in some extra stuff they have lying around. That's really nice. The LP itself is on black vinyl. Very nice. I'm not sure where this is pressed at. It's on the Western Vinyl label, kind of a small Texas label. I don't know if they're how they're affiliated with the label, whether they're just on the label or it's their label or what. But yeah, really cool. If you're into instrumental, cinematic kind of rock groups, I say check them out. Okay, these next three are from the local Goodwill here. So the first one I got here, pretty cool. Some blues rock here from the Edgar Winter Group. This is their They Only Come Out at Night album. Definitely a classic. Really cool to find this at a Goodwill. Really nice copy of this. So I was happy to find that. And then a little bit of glam here as well. We got Mott the Hoople with Mott. I think that's just the title of this, or I know this is The Hoople. It's the title of this one. But yeah, really cool to find this one as well in the wild at a Goodwill. That was awesome. And then last but not least, a group I had never heard of before, but I just saw this and I'm like, that looks psychedelic to me. And sure enough, Psych album by the group Euphoria. This is their self-titled debut and only release. The group formed, recorded this album, and broke up all within about a year's time. They're out of New York, New York. This is a pop psych group. Really, really good. I think this is awesome. It doesn't, it's not a cheap album, but it's under $20, and I'd say this is definitely a buy if you're into pop psych. Yeah, get this if you can, or at least give it a try, because I think it's a really good album, and for under $20, I think it's definitely if you're into psych, I would definitely recommend getting this. Really, really enjoyable. Nice gatefold on this. This is a promo copy, which is pretty cool, on the Heritage label. A label I was not familiar with previously. Don't think I've seen anything on this label before. But there is the Heritage label. Very nice. So yeah, that was a really nice surprise at a Goodwill one day. Didn't find anything else, just those three really, really nice albums, and something, a couple I knew and one I didn't know, but ended up liking really, really well. So that was a really good find. Okay, this next one is my first 2020 release to be picked up on vinyl, and that is the new album from the pop singer Halsey. And this is her album titled Manic. I believe this is her third release. Really, really good. I have been spinning this a lot this past month. Yeah, really, really enjoyed this. If you're into modern pop artists, if you've liked Halsey in the past, I know her second album was a bit of a sophomore slump, but this one's really, really solid. Really, really good, and really enjoying this one a lot. So there is that gatefold on that one. Sort of artistic kind of insert with a little bit of liner notes on it. And then the album itself is kind of on a milky clear vinyl, GZ pressing. Sounds good, and yeah, good solid album from Halsey. And this one very well may end up in my best of 2020 list. Who knows how the rest of the year goes, but as I said, I've been spinning this one quite a bit this past month and really enjoying it. And if you watch my channel, you know I do like my modern female pop vocalists. So yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, if you've enjoyed Halsey records before, I'd say definitely check this one out. It's solid. It's been an enjoyable listen. All right, this is a little bit later, Wes, checking in with a side note about this Halsey album. Just wanted to make it known, just in case you weren't already aware of this. This is missing 3 of the tracks that are on the CD. A lot of people are very upset about that. Since it's a single LP pressing, they just cut off 3 of the tracks that are on the CD. So you're not getting the full version. There is a download code in here. The download code is not for the full album. You only get the 3 missing tracks. So that's kind of you get the tracks, but your digital download isn't complete either. But it's kind of awkward how they did this, unfortunately. But I'm not going to take that away from Halsey. As I said, it's a really good album. So this is a side note, just to let you know that if you want the full album, buy the CD or get it some other way. But on vinyl, you're going to be missing a couple tracks. This next one was a pickup from the local sort of construction salvage thrift store that I go to on occasion, titled Repurpose Project. As I've said in the past, they do have other things besides just construction, reusable construction stuff. They have records and DVDs and CDs and all that, furniture and other kinds of stuff. Found this promotional EP of Harry Belafonte from his Paradise in Ganzuku album. This one has We Are the Wave, Amandala, Paradise in Ganzaku, and Global Carnival. I believe this album was from '89 is when he put this out. '88. I do have the full version of the album, but I thought it was cool to see this promotional EP, so I thought I'd go ahead and grab it while I was there. I was picking up a few other things, so threw this in. It's kind of a weird place. They don't really have prices on things. You kind of just bring what you want up to the counter and make an offer, and they can either say yes or no. Kind of do a little bit of haggling. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's kind of a fun place, but sometimes it's frustrating depending on who you're dealing with to get the right price. But I got the right price on this and ended up paying about 75 cents for it. So yeah, cool Harry Belafonte promotional item. All right, next up, we'll go ahead and talk about the Vinyl Me Please Essential Album of the Month. And so for January 2020, Vinyl Me Please reissued the album from the Dirty Projectors titled Bitte Orca. Indie rock group. I had not really listened to the Dirty Projectors before, so this was kind of new to me. Definitely in my wheelhouse, something I would normally buy, and I buy stuff like this. I bought stuff like this in the past, and so yeah, it was cool to get this and get into it and give it a serious listen. Really good album from them. Comes with a photo. They're doing more and more photos on the inserts rather than artwork, which is fine with me. And there's the gatefold on this one as well. Really, really nice packaging. It's heavy Stoughton jacket. It's got this varnish on the printing as well. Yeah, really, really nice. 2 LP set. And these are mastered by Chris Bellman. 2 LP set, as I said. There's the first LP with clear with a blue blob, I guess you could say. And then the second LP is clear with a red blob. So yeah, that was the Vinyl Me Please Album of the Month, Essential Album of the Month for January 2020. And yeah, really enjoyed it. As I said, something I would probably normally buy if it was a new release. But, at the time when this came out in 2009, I wasn't really tuned in enough to catch this. So it was really cool to be able to get this and check it out. So yeah. Dirty Projectors, Bitte Orca, definitely dug it. Vinyl Me Please Album of the Month. Next album I got here came from the local Second and Charles, kind of a half-price books kind of store, but they do sell new stuff as well, since they're affiliated with Books A Million. And that is the Dave Matthews Band Away From the World album. When was this released? 2012. Yeah, I was in there one night. They had this marked down to $10, brand new sealed. So I went ahead and grabbed it since this is one I didn't have on vinyl. I want to start collecting more Dave Matthews on vinyl when I can. So grab this one. Nice gatefold. A 2 LP set. Inner sleeves have some nice artwork and lyrics, handwritten lyrics. Very nice. This is also kind of on a milky clear vinyl. So yeah, Dave Matthews Band Away From the World. It's a cool pickup for the month. And then this last stack here got, I believe there's 13 here. I picked up at a Goodwill. Some really interesting random collection came in. It didn't make any sense at all. It was just very, very random, but found some really interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. First one here, added another one to the Mercury Living Presence Classical Collection. This is Verdi Overtures by Antal Dorati and the London Symphony Orchestra. So yeah, these, if you want to get into classical and you see these Mercury Living Presence with the stereo on top, these are really, really nicely done. Really excellent sounding recordings, excellently pressed vinyl. If you find one that's in good shape, definitely highly recommend these. Above even, like a Deutsche Grammophon or something, these sound really good to me. So definitely look for these when I'm out and about. So that was a cool pickup. This next one, Glenn Frey's album, No Fun Allowed. And some of these I just grabbed because they look to be in good condition, and I wanted to get a sort of a because they're 3 for $99 or 10 for $2. So basically I paid $2.99 for 13 records is kind of how that worked out. So kind of have to work it that way where you get the right amount to make it where it fits into one of those categories, because if you get less, you don't get a discounted rate. You just pay that much. And sometimes they won't even let you check out unless you have 3 or 10 at least. They're kind of weird like that. So yeah, pick that one up. Copy of Level 42's Running in the Family from 1987. Another one, I think I might have this already in the inbox, but grab that one just in case. Here's a cool 12-inch on Beggar's Banquet. This is Freeze with the IOU Mega Mix. We'll check that one out. Here's a bit of hip-hop Power Jam featuring Chill Rob G with The Power. Just a 12-inch single on Wild Pitch Records. This next one was a really good find. I was really happy to find this. This is the Communards with their self-titled album. This is a UK pressing. And it's a gatefold. And I don't think my US pressing of this is a gatefold. I'm going to have to look at it, but bam. That was really, really cool. Really cool packaging. It's got this sort of, I guess, varnish or whatever for the printing on a matte black sleeve. Really, really nice packaging on this. And yeah, I was really happy to find this for, in a Goodwill. And then a copy of Barclay James Harvest live tapes. This is a German pressing. I do already have this, and I think mine might even be a German pressing, but I remember it being a little rough sounding, so I'm going to give this one a shot and see if it's an upgrade for me. But yeah, cool prog stuff here. Definitely like some Barclay James Harvest. Nice gatefold on that one. A 12-inch single from the Communards. This is their Never Can Say Goodbye and Tomorrow. And yeah, I picked this up just because, I don't know, the cover intrigued me, and I've picked up a couple of Three Sons things along the way. This is Three Sons at the Candlelight Cafe. Pretty cool cover on this one, and I don't know, I may not keep it, but it'll be fun to spin at least once. Check it out. So got that one. Picked up this copy of the Letterman. I guess this is just self-titled. And then last but not least, the Color Field with Virgins and Philistines. So getting back into some 80s stuff. So yeah, that was my January 2020. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Hope you're all doing well, having a great day, great night. Getting out there and finding some great music. Subscribe if you aren't already to be kept up to date with future releases. And remember, there is no bad music, only music you don't like. We'll see you again real soon. Cheers.